Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a Q&A. I posted on Instagram and Facebook for people to send me questions so I could do a Q&A, and we have a decent amount of questions, so I'm going to answer every single one. So if you asked me a question, stay tuned to the end of the video because it will be answered. I have all of the questions on my laptop, which is literally just next to you. So if I'm looking here, I'm reading the questions. First question is, how are you getting on with your course? So if you don't know, I took an online course. The course was about the control and prevention of infection in a healthcare setting. I thought this course would help me progress onto becoming a midwife, which is really what I want to be doing. I start college in September. For the meantime, I just did these little courses. So the answer to the question is, I've finished it now. I finished it about a week ago now. Now I'm just waiting for my certificate to come through, and I'm so glad I'm finished. The next question is, if you could change one thing about your life, what would it be? I'm not really sure the answer to this because I'm quite happy with where my life is. Maybe a bigger house, that would be nice, but other than that, I'm quite content with where I'm at. Best tips to remove mould. So for mould, I like to go in with this stuff, the Astonish Mould and Mildew Blaster. That to actually get rid of the mould, and if there's any mould stains, this stuff is amazing. I don't think this stuff removes the actual mould. I think this stuff just removes the stain, but it does that really well. The next question is, are you going to take up boxing again? So when I was younger, I used to train to be a boxer, but I never competitively fought. I never had a bout. I think I'm the only one of my siblings that hasn't had a bout. Every single one of the Charnock family has boxed at some point. I don't know what it was, it just wasn't my sport. I wasn't into it, so I didn't want to. My dad actually coaches boxing, but for some reason that passion just wasn't passed down to me, but it was definitely passed to my two younger brothers. How did we decide Rudy's name? So if you don't know, our son is called Rudy James Alexander Pinkney. We actually had a completely different name most of the pregnancy. He was going to be called Ryden, but the more and more the pregnancy went on, I fell out of love with it, and then his dad fell out of love with it too. And we were just scrolling through names online, and Rudy came up, and we definitely wanted something where he was probably not going to run into somebody with the same name as him. I couldn't think of any, and we saw Rudy. I didn't like it at first, and his dad loved it. A couple of weeks before he was born, I was talking to my friend actually, and he was like, do you know, I haven't really thought about double-barreled names at all, and just hadn't given it a thought. And then because Rudy was one of the ones that his dad really liked, I was just going like something with James at the end of it, because James is quite a common second part. And then I was going Rudy James, and after I said Rudy James, I was like, ugh. And then I was like, Rudy James. And the more I said it, the more I fell in love with it. I said it to his dad, and he loved it too, and it just kind of stuck from there. And then he was Rudy James. And Alexander, we absolutely loved the name Alexander. But also in my son's dad's family, they have a tradition where the firstborn son has the initials RAP, so I had to follow that. What was your first immediate reaction when you found out you were pregnant? I didn't actually think I was pregnant for a really long time, because I was doing tests all of the time, and all of them were coming back negative. I was still getting, I don't know what it was, but it felt like a period. For the first 2 months, I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was already 8 weeks gone. And then one day, I took a test. It was a pack of 3 Poundland ones, and then I got my 2 lines, and I was so happy, to be honest. I'd always wanted to be a mother. I was there sobbing because I was so happy, but you have to remember, I was 16 when we got pregnant. It was a bit of a shock. Telling my parents was the hard part though. That was my initial reaction. I was like, oh my god, How am I going to tell my parents? What's the best part about being a young mum? The best part is that I kind of get to grow up with him, and everybody said that my life was going to be over. I had to say goodbye to myself and having fun and stuff, but since he's been born, I've had the most fun I've ever had in my life. Granted, it's been the hardest journey, but it's been the best one. What would your perfect day look like? I'm not sure. Probably nice weather where it's sunny, but it's not really hot. Family being around us, all of my son and all of his cousins and all of my siblings, and yeah, I don't know, just probably a family day. We love family days. Who has been the biggest influence in your life and why? Probably both of my parents. They've both been so supportive and better parents than I could have ever hoped for. Sure, they've both guided me in such different ways. Both of my parents have been the biggest influence in my life, I think. What's one thing you'd like to achieve before you die? Probably the thing that I would like to achieve most is have children that don't have to recover from their childhood. How do you measure life? I'm not sure, that's a hard question. I would say in happiness. Do I have any regrets in life? Yeah, I do. I was not very nice to my parents when I was younger. Didn't give my parents an easy ride when I was a younger teenager, so for that, I'm very regretful. What made you interested in midwifery? I just imagine being able to be part of one of the most, if not the most important moment in somebody's life when they bring their child into the world. I don't know, it just seems so magical. The next question is from the same person, and it said, how did you know that that was the best career for you and what you wanted to do? When I thought of becoming a midwife, it just excited me so much. It definitely scares me just as much, but the excitement for it is so real. How long have you lived in your house for? I've lived here since September 2018 is when we moved in. The 3rd of September 2018 is the day we got the keys. What's your favourite 3 cleaning product? This one was hard. I think I've narrowed it down, but I'm not 100% sure. But the ones I've come up with are this, which is the Flash Ultra Power spray. Smells amazing. Sticking with Flash, this is the next thing. I think I showed this in my first video, the kitchen cleaning one. Yeah, this stuff is just amazing. I use it on my kitchen floor because it's lino. And then the last thing is this. I'm going between this and the pink stuff, the paste. And I went with this just because it's easier to use. You can use this on more, I think, because the pink stuff paste is quite gritty, so it scratches. Are you going to have another child soon? As much as I would love one, no. How long have you and your partner been together? What's the hardest part about parenting for you so far? Probably the discipline, to be honest. Trying to make them understand something that they're just not going to understand. Yeah, just the discipline. I hate telling him off. I hate raising my voice to him. Do you want more children? Of course I do. I'd love my little tribe of 3 or something. I wouldn't mind all boys. That would be cool. I'd love a girl as well. Was your pregnancy planned? Not planned, but not prevented. So the last question is, how do you stay motivated to do exercise as well as run around after a child would do? I used to look in the mirror and I used to be really depressed at what I saw. I still had my little mummy pouch, and there's obviously nothing wrong with having a mummy pouch, but I didn't like the way it made me feel, the way it made me look. None of my old clothes fit me from pre-child. Yeah, so because of the fact of how many times I looked in the mirror and hated it, I decided it was time to change it, and initially started exercising just little workouts from home, and then I started running. Running has been the biggest change. I go on a 3-mile run every 3 or so days, and since running has been when I've seen the best result. My stomach's been flattening more, I feel better through the day. So I think it's just seeing the results that has kept me motivated, and feeling the results. Feel much fitter and healthier, and I've also been watching my diet more. As for running around after a child all day, I have felt the best I felt about myself for a really long time, and I don't hate it when I look in the mirror anymore. That helps me feel good, that raises my tolerance to things. Because I'm feeling better about myself, I'm parenting better. As I said, I have more energy, so I feel better, which makes me act better, which makes me a better mum, you know? So it's all just about seeing the results and feeling good. That's what keeps me motivated. And that was it. That was all of the questions I was asked. If you asked any while I was filming this, I'm really sorry I didn't get to answer it. I really hope you learnt something about me or answered your question and it helped in any way. So yeah, that's it. Goodbye!